One simple way that I improved my life, and I feel like this can help a lot of people out there, and that is to set realistic goals for yourself. For the longest time, I was setting unrealistic goals. I would write down my goal list and I would put lose 68 pounds in less than a year, have 30 grand in savings. Such unrealistic goals. Like those goals, it's like I should have started off small instead of like putting 68 pounds right on the dot. Like I should have put lose 5 pounds. Start off slow. That way you don't get overwhelmed. And that's what happened to me so many times. I was overwhelmed by the unrealistic goals I set for myself. I was in this negative rut for so long. I'm sure some of you got so annoyed with how negative I was being. I came on camera very negative. My channel was like all over the place. Till this day, I'm constantly reminding myself, even with my to-do list, a simple to-do list, I'm trying to set realistic goals. It's not like deep clean the couch, deep clean the house, deep clean the kitchen, declutter the closet, do laundry. It's like, no, Kira. 3 important things, that's it. Maybe pay some bills you were supposed to pay yesterday. If you have time to deep clean the couch, focus on that instead of like cleaning the whole house. Or if the house needs it more than the couch, then do the house. So I constantly have this battle with myself where it's like, Kira, sit down, stop putting unrealistic expectations, unrealistic goals on your little list or on yourself. And having this constant reminder that not everything has to be done in a day. Not everything has to be done in a year. You're not supposed to live a perfect life. No one does. Having these reminders in my head makes me set more realistic goals for myself. It makes me feel like, all right, I don't have to do everything that's on my list. If I don't get to it today, then maybe I'll get to it tomorrow. Another way that you can improve your life, and this is something that I have learned over time, and that is cultivating positive relationships. I don't want to say I'm perfect, okay? I'm not. No one is. But my partner and I, we respect each other a lot. We don't yell at each other, even when we're like disagreeing. Everyone disagrees, whether you're in a relationship or friends or family. Everyone disagrees. We're all different people. We'll have disagreements, and even though we're like a little bit arguing, we're not like swearing at each other. We're not calling each other names. We're not talking to each other in a weird tone. Respect is very, very big in our household. I didn't grow up like this. I grew up in a very toxic family environment, and that is something that I just didn't want to have anymore. I didn't want to have my little life that I'm creating filled with negative relationships. So when you learn how to cultivate a more positive relationship, whether it's with your partner, your friends and family, life will be so much more simple. Like I feel like when people realize you do not need to really argue with people. If you want to argue with others, then maybe you should have been a lawyer. I don't know, like maybe it's just me. I'm not a fan of arguing. If we disagree on something, like I said, we're not perfect. If we disagree, we will give each other space. He'll go for a run. I'll go to the library. We'll give each other space, whether it's a couple hours, maybe it's a whole day. We give each other space, as much space as we need to cool off. So that way we're not saying anything out of like anger. And that's the stuff that I grew up with. Talking in tones where you're not supposed to talk to your loved one in that kind of tone. Again, very, very negative environment. And I wanted to switch the scenario. So I wanted to add this in here because I feel like people don't talk about this enough. Or another way to improve your life, make it more simple, is to cultivate healthy, positive relationships around you. Now, it wouldn't be me if I didn't mention this one thing. I know I mention it in every video, but it helps, and that's why I mention it a lot. And that is to declutter your closets, your bedroom, your garage, wherever you have the most space. It's time. It is time to let go of things you do not need. So the biggest way that decluttering can improve your life is when you improve your space, you improve your mental health, you improve your physical health. I have noticed that I am less stressed out when our house is clutter free. I wouldn't say I grew up with a lot of things, but it was 3 girls in one small room, way smaller than this room. It was very, very hard. It was very, very cluttered. Like, try to fit 3 girls in a tiny, tiny room, 3 teenage girls. And it was really hard. And I noticed that like my anxiety, a part of my anxiety had to do with my environment. Obviously, 3 different kids in one room is pretty hard. Over the years, I have noticed that I am my best self when things are less cluttered. In this room, all there really is a bed. We don't have nightstands. Again, this is personal preference, but we don't have any of that stuff. We do perfectly fine with what we have, and it just gives me so much more peace when it comes to our living space. Because your living space is technically your 24/7 environment. Like, it's your space. So why would you want your space filled with things that you don't necessarily need? I also want to mention to take your time while decluttering. I know you want like probably a new space or a nice clean environment, but take your time while decluttering. You don't want to get rid of something that you might need in the future. Then you have to repurchase that item. So that's happened to me numerous times. So take your time while decluttering. I just had this conversation the other day when it came to my sister, and that is, to her, the kitchen feels intimidating, and I can totally see that, because for the longest time I was feeling that way too, and that's why I was purchasing a lot of processed food and, you know, microwavable food, oven food, and I didn't really know how to really cook. That is because a lot of recipes, especially online, a lot of recipes seem very, very intimidating. My biggest advice is to look for recipes that are extremely simple, like 3 to 4 ingredient recipes. This is going to help you simplify the way you think of your kitchen. It's going to encourage you to want to cook more healthier meals for you and your family. I have learned so much in the past year of the things that we were consuming compared to the things that we weren't consuming. We weren't consuming enough greens, we weren't consuming enough protein, and now I have a better grip on what to buy and what not to buy when it comes to food due to the ingredients. Again, I live in the US, and the ingredients here are very, very questionable. When it comes to the food that we are all consuming, it is pretty bad and sad at the same time that these companies just want to sell us poison. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to sound crazy or anything. So what helped me improve our life and our health, and I'm still going through this process, I still have a lot more to learn, but baby steps. The one thing that helped to be in the kitchen and not see it as like a chore or intimidating with cooking is looking up recipes that are extremely simple. And what I've been using too to help me with simplifying my recipes is AI. You can download any AI app. A lot of them are free. You don't have to pay the monthly subscription. I think you can chat like up to 10 times, which I normally only chat with AI when it comes to cooking. It helps out so much. Like, I will tell AI, all right, I only have oats, maple syrup, almond butter, hemp seeds, and baking powder. What can I do with this? Oh, and applesauce. Like, what can I do with these ingredients? And they will give me a measurement, a very, very simple measurement of how to make hemp seed bars. And I made them last night. They came out great. They're mainly for my partner when he's on the road. He's eating those instead of Cliff bars, because Cliff bars and those other, you know, packaged and processed bars are filled with crappy ingredients. So I was just trying to look for an alternative, and I think next time I'm gonna add in like walnuts and things like that, because it helped me realize like, wait, this is not as bad as I thought it was. So learning non-complicated recipes can improve your life so much when it comes to your health, and also when it comes to actually being in the kitchen and wanting to experiment more. I feel like when like a recipe has too many ingredients, I am out. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to do this recipe. Like, I am out. So moral of a story, learning non-complicated recipes or learning how to make complicated recipes not so complicated can improve your life so much. It can simplify your life in so many ways. That is the one thing that I'm so happy that I learned throughout this past year. I have mentioned this last thing so many times before, but I feel like in the world of over-consumerism and, you know, with social media at an all-time rise, we all need to disconnect to reconnect. I myself do this quite often. I've said this many times before, but I treat it as a job. Like, for instance, today I am recording 3 videos, and then tomorrow I will edit those 3 videos all day, program them, and when those 3 videos go out on their scheduled dates, I will answer comments, and that's it. Like, I'm not on YouTube anymore. And this is, I mean, I could be a little biased with this because this is my job, but I have noticed with me disconnecting like this and treating it as a job, I've noticed that I don't compare myself anymore. I don't put myself down anymore. I don't complain about my channel anymore. And I'm just trying to focus on doing what I love, which is helping you guys live a more simple lifestyle. I'm very passionate about, you know, living a minimalist lifestyle, saving money. That's what I've been focusing on, and not focus on the other negative side of social media where it's constant scrolling, constant ads. Anyways, I know I'm getting on a little rant here, but disconnect to reconnect. Put down your phone, put a timer on your phone if you need to when it comes to social media. I know it's hard to just like delete social media altogether. The internet can be a great place, but it also can be a bad place. So you have to level out the playing field by taking breaks. Constant breaks at this point. Try your best to not fall for any of the ads that you guys are seeing too. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to putting down your phone, going outside, or cleaning up your house, decluttering, like doing something other than scrolling on your phone constantly. I have made that mistake. I have purchased quite a few items over the years. Even with me being a minimalist, I have fell for numerous videos, ads. It's not like I can take it back, but I can learn from it, and that is to disconnect to reconnect. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down below, what is the biggest thing you have done to improve your life?